When a system goes sour, you look at corrupt points of control. With heaps of media fiction, which is merely a propaganda outlet for the totalitarian establishment, along with smoke, mirrors, and financial sorcery, things may appear to be just dandy. They are not. In fact, with this current level of corruption, we have all intents and purposes been reduced from a constitutional republic to a banana republic. I want you to know evil. When one truly understands evil, it becomes easier to have clearer ideas of what actions to take in order to strive for something else. And since civics are no longer taught in school, an ignorantly timid citizenry manifests. This unawareness has a steep price, as no one is righteous enough to dictate how others live their lives. Never allow your humanity and freedom to be hijacked by any perceived leader. But having a captive press, as well as thousands of well-funded governmental agencies, the elite are virtually free from constraint to break many of the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor, and thou shalt not steal readily come to mind. Zeb's motto is, avoidance makes the heart grow fonder. In order to safeguard the continuality of their fraudulent modes of control and exploitation, carefully constructed illusions of warm-hearted compassion are fabricated. Hopefully you are bright enough to have confronted the fact that a philanthropist is nothing but one who returns to the people publicly what he steals from them privately. The preeminent technique used to hoodwink the public is by means of public relations, as they donate 0.1% of their capital to well-advertised charities. Their philanthropy, however, ought be spelled faux-lanthropy, since the funds donated have been grifted from the general citizenry via crooked monopolies. These covert criminals are reminiscent of the more overt criminals. After all, Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler pillaged an entire continent, yet aided in animal rights. Serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer was a nice, quiet neighbor. Fascist dictator Benito Mussolini had the trains running on time, and murderous mob boss Al Capone funded soup kitchens for the less fortunate. Injun Joe say, joke time. Zeb grew up in a family involved with the mob, but never quite understood what his mother meant when she said that Dad was a made man. That is, until he walked in on him banging the maid. Yes, you have been lied to continuously, deliberately, and with malice. But truth must be your ultimate foundation. Far too many rudderless dolts blindly accept the elite's authoritarian propaganda as gospel. But as the clampdown accelerates to where you have nothing and they have everything, it would be wise to declare this polluted system has lost all semblance of legitimacy. Think long and hard about avoiding these criminals at all cost. A nation is at its best when their end goals are not about money, rather for a healthy, cohesive society and culture. However, the rungs of the monarchical corporate ladder have rotted America as we morph into 3 distinct factions. We have the 1% privileged elite aristocrat class, who feed off the production of the classes below them. These oligarchs, psychopaths, and their ilk live a life of luxury and leisure, as they pop their Dom Perignon champagne corks nightly. Next, we have the 15% upper middle class who are retainers to the above nobility. These assistants to the oligarchy do the administrative and managerial work and have a somewhat gilded class themselves. They are often government employees with extremely lavish pay packages who cannot be fired. The remaining 84% comprise the lower class. These serfs get to do the rote, grunt, manual labor type jobs, or on the dole, or in prison. Injun Joe say, sing a long time. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. Injun Joe say, ears hurt. When the gap between the poor and the rich becomes too large, things get messy. Young people are quite aware that this has happened in every great society in history and have chosen to divorce themselves from this economic schizophrenia. These millennials have also rightfully surmised that the days of each successive generation being more prosperous than the one before are unmistakably over. Concluding that they will not enjoy a higher standard of living, this younger generation has admirably stopped believing corpo's lies. Just work harder and we'll give you a new job title. Just work a little harder during these tough times and sacrifice for the company good. Since you are on salary with that new job title, just work some more unpaid overtime and your hard work will pay off. Then the liver-spotted crowd has the audacity to wonder, what's wrong with young people these days? As always, watch what they do, not what they say, because Big Corpo tends to have every attribute of a dog except loyalty. Despite the fact that a great deal of conventional wisdom has proven bogus, there are still too many who have been toxically educated into a stupefied state where they embrace the colonization of corporate authority. This is by design. Big Corpo knows that 90% of most people's decisions occur subconsciously and that the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. Their compensatory solution is to gleefully deceive and oppress their employees by doling out phony job titles. Food transportation technician is a waitress. Multi-bristle service operator. Beverage dissemination officer. Highway environmental hygienist. Scoops up roadkill. Media distribution officer. Coin facilitation broker. Transparency clearance craftsman. Economic deprivation administrator. Lead field chemist. Yeah, he sprays bugs. Wow. They must stay up all night concocting this claptrap. The opposite of honesty is trickery and should rile one's sense of injustice. Consciously or subconsciously, people know they are being abused. But even with this cartoonish lunacy, the worker bees will fight tooth and nail to pay $4 per gallon of gasoline to get to a place they don't want to be, doing work they do not enjoy, for wages they cannot afford life's necessities on. But when you live in a world of universal deceit, trust is eroded and impaired judgment arises.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
I know that life doesn't have any hands, but it sure can give you a slap sometimes. Thank you kindly, gang. I say right on.